The vast chamber of the United Earth Council fell silent as the holographic display flickered to life. The assembled representatives leaned forward, their eyes fixed on the sleek, crystalline vessels that approached Earth's defense perimeter. The Ziraxian ships moved with an otherworldly grace, their translucent hulls refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the podium, her weathered face illuminated by the holographic glow. 20 years of defending Earth's colonies had taught her to trust her instincts, and something about these aliens set off every alarm in her mind. "They call themselves the Ziraxian Concordat," she announced, her voice echoing through the chamber. "Their message claims they seek peaceful contact and technological exchange. However, our deep space monitoring stations have detected unusual energy signatures from their fleet. They're running active scanning arrays far more powerful than necessary for navigation." The Ziraxian ambassador, Valforin, had arrived 3 days ago. His crystalline form and flowing movements had captivated the media. But Chen noticed how his faceted eyes seemed to analyze everything with cold calculation. The aliens' promises of advanced technology and cultural exchange sounded perfect, too perfect. In the defensive command center beneath Geneva, Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez monitored the quantum encryption feeds from Earth's orbital defense grid. The Ziraxians had requested the grid be powered down as a show of trust. The Council had agreed, but Rodriguez had maintained a shadow network of sensors, running on minimal power. Now, those sensors were picking up concerning readings. "Admiral," Rodriguez called through the secure channel, "we're detecting micro-quantum fluctuations in the Ziraxian fleet's shield harmonics. The pattern matches theoretical models for cognitive manipulation fields." Chen's jaw tightened. The Ziraxians weren't here for peace. They were attempting to subjugate humanity through subtle technological manipulation. Their gifts would likely contain hidden influences, designed to make humans gradually dependent on Ziraxian technology and guidance. But humanity had not clawed its way to the stars by being naive. The harsh lessons of Earth's history had taught them to survive, to question, to prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. The defensive grid that the Ziraxians thought was powered down was actually operating in a revolutionary passive state, developed by human engineers who had learned to hide their true capabilities. In the council chamber, Valforin spoke with measured confidence. "We offer you the keys to the stars," the alien ambassador proclaimed, his crystalline form shimming. "Your species shows promise, but you need guidance to avoid the mistakes others have made. Accept our help, and we will elevate you." Chen watched as several council members nodded, seemingly entranced by the ambassador's words and presence. But she also noticed others who remained still, their eyes sharp and evaluating. Humanity had not survived countless wars, disasters, and challenges by being easily swayed by pretty promises. In orbit, the Ziraxian fleet had positioned itself in what appeared to be a ceremonial formation. But Rodriguez's sensors revealed the truth. They were in an optimal attack configuration, hidden behind a facade of diplomatic positioning. "Initialize protocol darkness," Chen commanded through her neural link. Across Earth's defense grid, quantum processors began executing commands that had been prepared for exactly this kind of situation. Humanity had learned long ago to hope for peace while preparing for betrayal. The Ziraxian ambassador's next words confirmed their suspicions. "We have accessed your historical records," Valforin announced. "Your species has a violent past. You require guidance. The technology we offer will help calm these aggressive tendencies." Chen stepped forward, her voice clear and unwavering. "Ambassador Valforin, we appreciate your offer. However, we've detected the quantum manipulation fields your ships are attempting to establish. Our violent past has taught us many lessons. Chief among them is to recognize when someone is trying to control us." The ambassador's crystalline form flickered with surprise, its smooth facade cracking for just a moment. "These readings you speak of? Impossible. Your technology is not advanced enough to detect your cognitive influence attempts, to maintain active defenses while appearing vulnerable." Chen's smile was cold. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, Ambassador. It's our ability to learn from every challenge we face. Throughout the chamber, council members who had appeared entranced now sat up straight, their eyes clear. The apparent susceptibility to Zeraxian influence had been a carefully choreographed act, coordinated through subtle neural net signals. "Your species is young," Valthorin said, his tone hardening. "You cannot comprehend the complexity of galactic civilization. We offer guidance freely, yet you respond with accusations and paranoia." "We comprehend perfectly," Chen replied. "We comprehend that truly benevolent species don't attempt to secretly manipulate those they claim to help. We comprehend that your fleet is an attack formation, not a diplomatic configuration. And we comprehend that you gravely underestimated humanity." The defense grid suddenly powered up, not from its apparent dormant state, but from its actual standby mode, revealing capabilities far beyond what the Zeraxians had detected. Quantum barriers materialized around Earth, incorporating technologies that the aliens had thought impossible for humans to develop. "This is your only warning," Chen announced, as hidden weapon platforms revealed themselves throughout the solar system. "Withdraw your fleet and cease your attempts at manipulation. Humanity is willing to engage in true diplomatic relations, but we will not be controlled." Valthorin's crystalline form pulsed with what might have been anger or fear. "You do not understand what you are rejecting. The Concordat has guided dozens of species to enlightenment. Your resistance is unprecedented." "No, Ambassador," Chen corrected. "Your failure to understand us is unprecedented. Humanity's history is filled with those who thought they could subjugate us through superior technology or subtle manipulation. They all learned the same lesson. We are not easy prey." The Zeraxian ships began to move, their formation shifting. But Earth's defenses were already tracking every possible vector, every potential weapon. Humanity had spent generations preparing for this moment, learning from their own conflicts and imagining how they would face threats from the stars. "The Concordat will not forget this," Valthorin warned, his form beginning to fade as he prepared to return to his ship. "You have rejected paradise." "No," Chen responded, her voice carrying the weight of human history. "We've rejected chains disguised as gifts. Remember this day, Ambassador. Remember that humanity saw through your deception. And remember that we stand ready if you choose to return with less peaceful intentions." As the Zeraxian fleet retreated from Earth's space, the council chamber erupted in discussion. But Chen's attention was already focused on the future. She knew the Zeraxians would return, and humanity would be ready. They had survived their own violent past not by denying it, but by learning from it, by building strength from their scars. The first contact with the Zeraxians had revealed a crucial truth to the galaxy. Humanity was not a species to be underestimated. They had faced their demons, learned from their mistakes, and emerged stronger. And now, as they looked to the stars, they carried those lessons with them. The price of first contact had been the shattering of peace, but humanity had paid far higher prices in their history. They would face whatever came next as they had faced everything before, with determination, ingenuity, and the unshakable will to remain free. 6 months after the failed diplomatic contact, humanity's outer colonies thrived under an uneasy peace. On New Eden, the largest human settlement beyond Sol, the evening sky shimmered with the lights of orbital farming platforms. But in the colony's Defense Command Center, Commander Maya Patel watched her quantum sensors with growing concern. "Another shadow reading," she reported to Earth Command. "Third one this week. Something's probing our defensive perimeter, using tech that almost masks their signature. Almost." What the Zeraxians didn't know was that humans had been preparing for space-based warfare since before they reached the stars. Every colony, no matter how small, had defensive capabilities that went far beyond their apparent technological level. Humanity had learned long ago that survival depended on hiding their true strength. The attack, when it came, was subtle. On a dozen human colonies simultaneously, communication systems began experiencing mysterious failures. Agricultural processing plants reported strange equipment malfunctions. Medical facilities found their diagnostic tools giving erratic readings. But the Ziraxians had made a crucial mistake. They assumed that humanity relied solely on their advanced technology. They didn't understand that every human colony was designed with multiple redundancies, including primitive backup systems that were immune to sophisticated interference. In the depths of New Eden's command bunker, Dr. Elena Santos studied the pattern of failures. Her background in both quantum computing and historical warfare gave her a unique perspective. "They're trying to cripple us without firing a shot," she explained to Commander Paddle. "Classic strategy. Disable infrastructure, create panic, wait for us to beg for help." But panic never came. Instead, human colonists switched seamlessly to backup systems. Agricultural platforms shifted to manual controls. Medical facilities activated emergency protocols that had been drilled into every citizen since the colony's founding. What looked like chaos to the watching Ziraxians was actually a carefully orchestrated dance of survival. Admiral Chen, monitoring from Earth, recognized the true threat hidden within the Ziraxian attack. "They're not just trying to disable our colonies," she announced to the Emergency Council. "They're gathering data. Every system they disrupt gives them information about our capabilities and responses." But humanity had learned to turn adversity into advantage. Each Ziraxian probe and attack was meticulously analyzed, revealing crucial information about their technological capabilities and tactical doctrine. The humans appeared to be merely defending, but they were actually preparing for something much more significant. On the colony of Arcturus Prime, the Ziraxians attempted to escalate their attacks. A fleet of stealth ships emerged from quantum space, expecting to find a vulnerable settlement ripe for intimidation. Instead, they found themselves caught in a web of gravitational anomalies, human-designed trap fields that had been disguised as natural phenomena. "Quantum locks engage," reported Captain James Chen, Admiral Chen's son, from the bridge of the hidden defense platform. "Their ships are trapped in our gravity fields. Should we spring the rest of the surprise?" Admiral Chen's response crackled through the quantum comm. "Show them what happens when they underestimate humanity's ingenuity." The space around Arcturus Prime came alive with weapons platforms that had been concealed within asteroid fields and gas clouds. But instead of destroying the trapped Ziraxian ships, the humans did something unexpected. They captured them intact, using advanced boarding technologies that the aliens had thought beyond human capability. The Ziraxian crews, encased in their crystalline environment suits, found themselves facing human marines in powered armor that seemed deceptively crude, but proved remarkably effective. The aliens had expected panic and disorganization. Instead, they encountered perfectly coordinated teams that moved with the precision of long practice. "Welcome to human space," Captain Chen transmitted to the captured Ziraxian commander. "Perhaps now you understand why subtle manipulation failed. We've been preparing for threats like you since before we left Earth." The captured ships yielded a wealth of intelligence about Ziraxian technology and strategy. But more importantly, they revealed something that sent ripples of concern through the Concordette's leadership. Humans weren't just defending themselves. They were learning, adapting, and improving their technology at a rate that the Ziraxians had thought impossible. Back on Earth, Admiral Chen presented the findings to the Council. "The Ziraxians operate on a principle of technological superiority," she explained. "They believe that advanced technology automatically equals victory. But human history has shown us countless examples of supposedly superior forces being defeated by those they underestimated." The Council chamber's displays showed the extent of Ziraxian infiltration attempts across human space. But alongside each point of alien activity was a marker showing human countermeasures, many of which had been developed and deployed in real time as the attacks unfolded. "We've confirmed what we suspected," Chen continued. "The Ziraxians have never encountered a species that could resist their technical superiority. They don't understand that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology. It's our ability to adapt and overcome." In the following weeks, the Zeraxians launched increasingly desperate attacks on human colonies, only to find their every move anticipated and countered. Humanity's apparent vulnerability had been a carefully crafted illusion, concealing layers of defenses and countermeasures that had been generations in the making. But the humans didn't just defend. Every Zeraxian attack was met with a calculated response that revealed only a fraction of human capabilities, while gathering crucial intelligence about their adversary. The aliens thought they were dealing with a primitive species struggling to resist superior technology. In reality, they were facing an opponent who had turned their own arrogance into a weapon against them. As the failed attacks mounted, the Zeraxian Concordat faced an unprecedented situation. Their attempts at subtle conquest had not only failed but had exposed vulnerabilities in their own strategies. The species they had dismissed as primitive had proved to be sophisticated warriors who had learned from every conflict in their violent history. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the galaxy's understanding of power and progress. Humanity had weathered the silent strike, but they knew this was only the beginning. The real war was about to begin, and Earth's children were ready to show the stars what it truly meant to face a species forged in the crucible of survival. The Zeraxian High Command received the signal from their frontier outpost too late. By the time their crystalline sensors registered the human fleet's arrival, their supposedly impregnable defense station was already compromised. They had expected any human attack to be announced with primitive energy signatures and clumsy faster-than-light jumps. Instead, humanity's warships emerged from quantum space with a precision that shouldn't have been possible for such a young species. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Prometheus, Earth's most advanced warship. Its design was deceptively simple. The Zeraxians had dismissed it as crude when their long-range scouts first detected it. They hadn't realized that its apparent simplicity concealed layers of technology that humanity had developed in secret over centuries of preparation for this very moment. All ships, execute Operation Thunderbolt, Chen commanded. The human fleet moved with perfect coordination, each vessel implementing tactics that had been refined through countless simulations. Their formation wasn't just a military strategy. It was the culmination of humanity's long history of warfare, adapted for the complexity of space combat. The Zeraxian defense station's crystalline structure shimmered as it activated its highest-level shields. But the humans weren't targeting their defenses directly. Instead, quantum torpedoes struck precise points in space around the station, creating a complex web of gravitational distortions that the Zeraxians had never encountered before. "Your species' arrogance blinds you," Chen transmitted to the station's commander. "You thought we were showing our full capabilities during your attacks on our colonies. You never wondered why a species with such a violent history would reveal all their strengths." In the station's command center, the Zeraxian leadership watched in disbelief as their advanced sensors began to fail. The humans weren't using brute force. They were implementing warfare on a level that the Concordat had thought impossible for such a young civilization. Captain Sarah Martinez, commanding the stealth cruiser UES Shadow, led the next phase of the attack. Her ship, completely invisible to Zeraxian sensors, deployed swarms of autonomous drones that had been disguised as debris during previous encounters. These machines, products of centuries of human robotics research, began systematically dismantling the station's outer defenses. "We learned from every war we ever fought," Martinez transmitted to her crew. "Every conflict on Earth taught us something. We took those lessons to the stars, knowing that we weren't alone out here, knowing that someday we'd need everything we'd learned." The Zeraxians launched their counterattack, crystalline ships emerging from quantum space in perfect formation. But the humans had anticipated this too. The seemingly vulnerable human fleet suddenly split into smaller groups, executing maneuvers that exploited weaknesses in Zeraxian tactical doctrine, weaknesses they had identified during the previous months of defensive operations. Dr. Marcus Wong, monitoring the battle from Earth's strategic command, smiled grimly as the data flowed in. His team had spent years analyzing every scrap of information about Zeraxian technology and tactics. They built their entire society on the assumption of technological superiority. He explained to the watching council members. They never developed the skills to fight an enemy who could match them. The battle unfolded across three-dimensional space like a deadly chess game. Every Zeraxian move was met with a counter that seemed impossible. Every strategy they attempted was turned against them. The humans fought with a combination of advanced technology and tactical innovations that left their opponents reeling. "Send in the wraiths," Chen ordered, and a new type of ship appeared on the battlefield. These vessels, smaller than traditional warships, implemented technology that the humans had developed by studying natural phenomena on Earth. They could phase through solid matter, bypassing shields that the Zeraxians had thought impenetrable. The Zeraxian commander, his crystalline form pulsing with distress, finally understood the true nature of their opponent. Humanity hadn't just been defending itself during the previous attacks. They had been studying, learning, and preparing for this moment. "How?" he transmitted, as his forces were systematically neutralized. "Your species is too young for such capabilities." "We had good teachers," Chen replied. "Every tyrant who tried to conquer us, every war we fought among ourselves, every challenge we faced, they all taught us something. We learned that true strength isn't about having the most advanced technology. It's about understanding how to use what you have, and more importantly, understanding your enemy." The battle concluded not with the destruction of the Zeraxian forces, but with their complete neutralization. Human ships had disabled their weapons, trapped their vessels in gravitational fields, and systematically demonstrated superiority in every aspect of space combat. "This is humanity's response to your attempts at subjugation," Chen announced to the captured Zeraxian commanders. "We're not the primitive species you thought we were. We're the descendants of countless warriors, survivors, and innovators. Every battle in our history prepared us for this moment." As news of the battle spread across Zeraxian space, their leadership faced an uncomfortable reality. They had dismissed humanity as primitive because they didn't understand that Earth's violent history hadn't weakened humanity. It had forged them into something unprecedented in the galaxy. The captured Zeraxian station yielded technological secrets that confirmed humanity's suspicions. The Concordat had built their empire by subjugating species that were genuinely primitive, using their advanced technology to establish dominance. They had never faced a species that had developed in secret, hiding their true capabilities behind a facade of simplicity. Back on Earth, the Council convened to discuss the next phase of the war. The humans had proven they could defeat the Zeraxians in battle, but Admiral Chen knew this was just the beginning. "They'll adapt," she warned. "They'll try new tactics, attempt to counter our advantages. But that's exactly what we want. Because that's what humans do best," Dr. Wong added. "We learn from every fight, adapt to every challenge." The Zeraxians thought their technology made them invincible. We're teaching them that true strength comes from something deeper. The will to survive, to adapt, and to overcome. The battle had sent a message across the galaxy. Humanity wasn't just another species to be conquered or guided by the Zeraxian Concordat. They were something new. A civilization that had taken the harsh lessons of their violent history and turned them into unprecedented strength among the stars. The great halls of the Zeraxian Central Authority, once a symbol of unquestioned power, now echoed with the sounds of panic. The crystalline beings who had ruled vast sectors of space for millennia watched in horror as reports flooded in from across their empire. Human forces weren't just winning battles. They were systematically dismantling the very foundations of Zeraxian power. Supreme Commander Valthex, his crystalline form dulled with stress, reviewed the latest intelligence. The humans had somehow turned the Concordat's own subject species against them. Not through force or manipulation, but by simply revealing the truth of Zeraxian guidance. "They're not just fighting our ships," Valthex announced to the gathered leadership. "They're fighting our entire way of existence. Every victory they achieved shows other species that were not invincible. On the frontier world of Nexus VII, a joint fleet of human and recently liberated Caltherian ships surrounded the last Ziraxian stronghold in the sector. Admiral Chen watched from the bridge of the Prometheus as the Caltherians, using tactics they'd learned from human advisors, executed a perfect pincer movement. "Your empire is built on lies," Chen transmitted to the Ziraxian commander. "You claim to guide species to enlightenment, but you only taught them dependence. Humanity shows them a different path, one where they can stand on their own." The Ziraxian response was desperate. They deployed experimental weapons, technologies they'd kept hidden for centuries. But the humans had anticipated this too. Each new Ziraxian weapon was met with countermeasures that seemed impossible for humanity to have developed so quickly. Dr. Elena Santos, now leading Earth's Xenotechnology Division, had cracked the code of Ziraxian tech development. "Their innovation is linear," she explained to the United Earth Council. "They build upon existing principles in predictable ways. But human creativity, our ability to make intuitive leaps, to combine disparate ideas, it's something they can't comprehend." The turning point came at the Battle of the Crimson Nebula. The Ziraxians had gathered their remaining fleet for one massive counterattack. Their ships, bristling with their most advanced weapons, emerged from quantum space in perfect formation. They expected to find a human fleet waiting to be destroyed. Instead, they found something unprecedented. Humanity had transformed the nebula itself into a weapon. Quantum resonators, hidden within the cosmic dust, created interference patterns that disrupted Ziraxian systems in ways their scientists had thought impossible. "You still don't understand what you're fighting against," transmitted Captain James Chen as his task force emerged from stealth. "We're not just warriors. We're innovators, dreamers, creators. Every human ship carries the legacy of countless scientists, engineers, and visionaries." The battle that followed wasn't just a military engagement. It was the death knell of an empire's ideology. Human ships danced through space with impossible grace, their tactics a fusion of ancient Earth warfare principles and cutting-edge space combat theory. Each maneuver demonstrated not just technological prowess, but the creative spirit that had driven humanity to the stars. Across the galaxy, subject species watched through quantum feeds as the mighty Ziraxian fleet was systematically dismantled. The humans didn't just destroy their ships, they disabled them, captured them, turned them against their former masters. It was a demonstration not just of power, but of a fundamentally different approach to warfare. In the Ziraxian Central Authority, the leadership faced a reality they had never imagined possible. Their carefully maintained image of superiority was crumbling. Species that had been under their guidance for generations were declaring independence, many of them seeking alliances with humanity. "How do we stop them?" demanded Valthex, his crystalline form fracturing under stress. "Every defeat draws more systems to their cause. They're not just winning battles, they're winning hearts and minds." The answer came from an unexpected source. A junior analyst, reviewing historical data, made a stunning discovery. The humans weren't just fighting the current war, they were systematically dismantling the entire foundation of Ziraxian power. Each victory exposed another lie, another manipulation that had kept the Concordat in control. On Earth, Admiral Chen presented the final phase of humanity's strategy to the Council. "The Ziraxians built their empire on the assumption of their own superiority," she explained. "We're not just proving them wrong, we're showing the galaxy a different way. Every species we free becomes another nail in their empire's coffin." The Caltherians were the first to formally ally with humanity, but others quickly followed. Species that had been dependent on Ziraxian technology found themselves learning human principles of innovation and self-reliance. The empire that had stood for millennia was collapsing not through military defeat alone, but through the spread of dangerous ideas, independence, creativity, self-determination. As the Ziraxian Empire crumbled, their leadership finally understood their fatal mistake. They had dismissed humanity as primitive, because humans didn't follow their predetermined path of development. They never realize that this very difference, humanity's chaotic, creative, resilient nature, was what made them so formidable. Your empire falls not because we are stronger, Admiral Chen transmitted to the Ziraxian Central Authority, but because you never understood what true strength is. It's not about having the most advanced technology or the largest fleet. It's about the spirit that drives us to innovate, to adapt, to overcome. The message spread across the galaxy. Humanity wasn't just another species to be guided or controlled. They were something new, a force that had turned the scars of their violent history into wisdom, their struggles into strength, their creativity into power. And as the Ziraxian Empire collapsed, the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see what would rise from the ashes of the old order. The crystalline spires of Zirax Prime, heart of the once mighty Concordat, reflected the light of 3 suns across its surface. For millennia, these towers had stood as symbols of unquestioned power. Now they witnessed the end of an era. A combined fleet of human and liberated alien ships held position above the planet, their presence a testament to how far the mighty had fallen. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, watching the final pieces fall into place. The Ziraxian leadership had retreated to their homeworld, gathering their remaining forces for a last stand. But even now, they didn't understand what they were truly facing. Final transmission from Earth Command confirmed. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, Operation Phoenix is ready to proceed. The plan that humanity had set in motion wasn't just about military victory. It was about fundamentally reshaping the galaxy's understanding of power and progress. The Ziraxians had built their empire on the premise of technological superiority. Humanity was about to show them. And the galaxy, that true strength came from something far more profound. Supreme Commander Valthex's image appeared on the command screen, his crystalline form showing signs of stress fractures, physical manifestations of the pressure he faced. You have won many battles, humans, he announced, his tone a mixture of resignation and defiance. But Zirax Prime will never fall. Our defensive systems have been gathering power for centuries. You cannot breach them. Chen's response was calm, measured. We're not here to breach your defenses, Commander. We're here to show you what you've failed to understand about humanity since the beginning. At her signal, the human fleet began to move. But instead of attacking, they took up positions that seemed to make no tactical sense. The Ziraxians watched in confusion as their enemies appeared to leave themselves vulnerable. Your final strategy is to surrender, Valthex asked, genuine confusion in his voice. No, Chen replied. Our strategy is to teach. She nodded to her communications officer. Activate the quantum resonance network. Across the vast fleet, human ships began emitting precisely calibrated energy patterns. These waves weren't weapons. They were communication signals, reaching out to something the Ziraxians had never considered a threat. Deep beneath the crystalline surface of Zirax Prime, ancient machinery stirred to life. The planet's automated defense systems, which the Ziraxians had arrogantly believed beyond any outside influence, began responding to the human signals. Impossible, Valthex exclaimed, his form flickering with distress. Those systems are isolated. No external force can. You assumed your technology was beyond our understanding, Chen interrupted. Just as you assumed we were primitive, because we didn't follow your path of development. But humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to see possibilities where others see only barriers. Dr. Elena Santos, monitoring from her position on the Prometheus, watched as her theories were proven correct. The Ziraxians built their defensive systems on fundamental principles of quantum mechanics, she explained to the bridge crew. But they never imagined someone would approach those principles from a completely different direction. The surface of Zirax Prime began to shimmer as layers of defensive systems activated, not to attack the human fleet, but to respond to their communications. The humans weren't trying to destroy the defenses, they were talking to them, using principles of quantum physics that the Ziraxians had never considered. "You see, Commander," Chen continued, "while you were watching our ships and weapons, studying our obvious technology, you missed what makes humanity truly unique. We don't just build upon existing knowledge. We question it, reshape it, see it from new angles." The crystalline towers of the capital city began to resonate with the human signals. What looked like chaos to the Ziraxians was actually a carefully orchestrated demonstration of understanding. Understanding that went far beyond mere technological advancement. "Your entire civilization is built on the assumption of linear progress," Chen explained. "You believe that technological advancement follows a single path, that species can be judged by how far along that path they've traveled. But humanity's history taught us something different. Around the planet, Ziraxian weapons and defense systems continued to respond to the human signals, not by shutting down, but by operating in ways their creators had never imagined possible. It was a demonstration not of destructive power, but of profound comprehension. Each challenge we faced on Earth forced us to think differently," Chen continued. "Wars, disasters, technological limitations, they all taught us that there's never just one solution, never just one path forward. True advancement comes from understanding this fundamental truth." Valthex watched in stunned silence as his world's defenses were transformed not into weapons, but into a demonstration of everything his civilization had failed to understand about humanity. "We could destroy your defenses," Chen said softly. "We could turn them against you, as you might expect. Instead, we're showing you something far more important, that the principles you built your empire upon were flawed from the start." The gathered fleet of liberated species watched in awe as humanity demonstrated not just technological prowess, but a fundamentally different way of thinking about progress and power. "Your empire is ended," Chen announced, "not because we were stronger, but because you never understood what true strength is. It's not about having the most advanced technology or the oldest civilization. It's about the ability to adapt, to think differently, to see beyond the obvious path." In the end, the fall of the Ziraxian Concordat came not with a massive battle, but with a lesson. Their defensive systems, reprogrammed by human ingenuity, became a network for communication and cooperation. Their weapons, understood at a fundamental level by human scientists, were transformed into tools for peace. As the crystalline spires of Zirax Prime reflected the light of 3 suns, they illuminated not just the end of an empire, but the dawn of a new era. Humanity had proven that true power lies not in technological superiority, but in the ability to understand, adapt, and grow. The galaxy would never be the same. The species that had watched and learned from humanity's victory understood that they had witnessed something unprecedented, not just the fall of an empire, but the rise of a new way of thinking about civilization itself. And in the vast darkness between the stars, humanity's message echoed clear. True strength comes not from power over others, but from the wisdom to see beyond one's own assumptions, the courage to question established truths, and the humanity to use that understanding for the benefit of all.